Yeah, we'll use the group
Yes?
we have
What is
and
it?
just go. Put an end to this.
Hail the dead. How may I serve you, sojourner?
As you go of the abandoned, I command you to grant me passage home. You have learned my true name, I see. Very well. I have summoned a door that will return you to the one you know as Durnan in Waterdeep. But before you go, is there anything else you would have me do? Allow the Githzerai pilgrims to return home. As you command, Sojourner, I will return them safely to their home in Limbo. Should allow the spirits of the dead to haunt the living, I don't think so. Thank you, Reaper, that will be all. A word of warning before you go, Sojourner. By breaking the chains Mephistopheles placed upon you, and stepping through that door, you forfeit the bond that brought you to this place. You will not see me again, nor lay your eyes upon the eyes of Kanya. The Reaper bows deeply. It has been a pleasure to serve you. I wish you well, Sojourner.
Excuse me, but before we go any further, the land of the living lies through that portal. All my past failings, all my mistakes, everything I did and didn't do in life.
It's alright, I'm going with you. I suppose we have no time for delay. Great evil lurks in our home world. We must shine Terra's light upon it and sap away its power. Come, let us make our peace with the world. About you. I'm wondering, what do you plan to do once this adventure is done? You mean after they can finish second book? Yes. And after they can get much better price for his second book? Yes, after the book. They can walk in the publisher office, and if they cannot get paid good for a second book, then publisher be in a lot of trouble. He not going to take any guff, plus Deacon want royalties. After book, Deacon thinks he might go back to Nether Mountain, maybe? Why would you go back there? Deacon thinks maybe he takes Kobold tribe and brings them out to live with humans, maybe? Deacon thinks he makes tribe not be so mean and nasty for once. Do you think you can really make them change? Deacon hopes so. Anyone can change, Deacon thinking. Maybe at first they be not mean because Deacon tells them. Maybe later they learn to be not mean because they want to. Deacon maybe is first kobold that gets to become civilized lands. Somehow Deacon not thinks he be only kobold that ever wants to. He certainly not want to be the last kobold that try. Deacon thinks it'd be hard, maybe. There be lots of kobolds who fight Deacon, maybe. But Deacon got to try. Deacon got to try. That's a noble goal. Thank you, boss. None of that be even possible if it not be for you. Deacon never forgets you. But that adventure not be over yet, boss. On with the adventure. Sweat beads on Durnan's face. He calls out orders, his voice almost lost in the din of battle. He seems older than you remember him, and his shoulders sag with the weight of many defeats. He turns to you, surprised.
Where did you come
I have some unfinished business with Mephistopheles. Get in line, my friend. In hindsight, the encroachment on Undermountain was just a mask for an even greater horror. Somehow the archdevil you speak of has been let loose upon the world. Abbas, that was your fault. Deacon had nothing to do with it. We fight his minions even now. Some districts have held against their onslaught, but only where Mephistopheles himself hasn't joined. It's a war of movement now. We fight just to survive. Just keep everyone safe. I'll handle Mephistopheles. Then may the gods grant you strength. With every battle he grows in power. You had reports that he's on his way here. I'll order my men to pull back when he arrives. You're our only hope. Your nemesis, Mephistopheles, towers above you, burning corpses all about him. Having summoned you back down from your safe vantage point, he tosses a wicked smile toward your tiny form.
Good evening, my lady. Do you come here often? Forgive me if I seem gauche, but last I recall, I had trapped you for all eternity in an icy little place called Kenya.
You'd have few options here. The fallback option is always to just fight him and banish him. But if you were an evil, power-hungry son of a bitch, you'd have an option even to replace Mephistopheles. Yeah, if you have the true name. I think it's not in our nature though, so we'll just want to get rid of him. Since we're all doing bad jokes, sorry, the hells froze over. How very witty. It is a shame you did not like dearest Kanya, really. I thought I was being very gallant leaving it for you. Imagine, you could have been Lady of the Eight, an aspiration any mortal should live for, don't you think? I've come to stop you. You and which army, foolish mortal? I dare say it seems they have run off and left you alone to face me. A pity. But I do see you brought your pretty little paladin with you. It feels like such a long time since we last met, doesn't it, my dear? If I recall, you fled in tears, quite confused about your place in the world. That was then and this is now, Hellfiend. Ali has led me back to Tyr's blessing, and it is Tyr whom I now serve. Even you, in all your might, dare not stand against his wrath. Tyr, you say? Then I presume it is Tyr's spells you wield against me. Yes, again, princess, they're my spells, mine. I played Nali as my puppet with the Walshares, and I did the same in Kenya. All this time, you thought you were traipsing through Kenya in the name of Tyr? How quaint. Tyr abandoned you, Arabeth, and couldn't care less about you now. No, it's not true. It can't be. I believed again. I could have sworn I still saw beauty in the world. Blah, blah, blah. You've done quite a number on her, Nalia. If I wasn't about to kill you, I might just congratulate you. You've got her twisted around your little finger. So what's it gonna be, princess? Her or me? No matter what I do, it seems I'm only capable of bringing evil into the world. I will side with you, Mephistopheles. There's no other choice. So persuade, intimidate, or once a traitor, always a traitor then. Yeah. He lies. Your faith is what you make of it. You have brought me back from an icy grave, Nalia. You are my rock, my touchstone. You are right. If nothing else, I believe in you. Mephistopheles be damned. Now, who is this you have with you, Nalia? Not a kobold, but a veritable dragon, bristling with power. Tell me, little one, why do you chase after Nalia like some lost servant, when you could be so much more? Is he talking to Deacon? Is there any reason I shouldn't speak to you, little one? You have achieved power enough to surpass any simple dragon. You have achieved your potential as no other kobold has ever before you. Deacon greater than Old Master? No, that not be right. Of course it is right, little one. Come, join me. What has Nalia done but hold you back from your potential? I could make you a force that all dragons would bow down to in fear. All the world would know your name, Deacon, and fear it. Deacon's eyes go wide as he thinks about the implications of Mephistopheles' offer. But Nalia is the boss. Deacon not... He turns to you, looking desperate and fearful. Boss, Deacon not be able to make decision like this. It helps Deacon. Don't listen to him, Deacon. We're a team, remember? That be right. Deacon turns and addresses the Archdevil angrily. The boss and Deacon are a team. You're not going to break us up no matter what you says. Mephistopheles rolls his eyes and turns toward you instead.
Try what you might. You cannot stop me, mortal. I know you far too well.
Thraxville the Ambitious, I command you to stop.
My true name? You've commanded me. Where did you learn it? Oh, but I must obey. What is it you wish of me, Master? How must I serve you?
Command you to die. You can't kill a devil. If he dies, he'll just basically reform in his own hell. So, return to Cania and remain there forever.
Yes. Thank you, Master. Thank you for your mercy. May frozen Cania be my home forevermore.
And so the tale is done. In the lore of an age that was famed for its heroes as well as its villains, your legend will live on. Scribes will read of your deeds in dusty tomes and marvel that ever there was a time where such an adventurer walked the face of Toril. It is said that the archdevil Mephistopheles abandoned his war of conquest, his desire to subjugate the mortal realms foiled by his defeat at your hands. He fled the world of Toril, never to return. Such tales rarely end so easily, however, and future stories claim that Mephistopheles spent much of his future consumed with the desire for revenge upon the one who humbled him. Whether his plots proved successful, however, or whether you vanquished him again as you had the first time, is another tale. Knowing how the tale ends, however, is only part of the story. There is evidence in the old tomes that tell of your fate in the years to come, the fate of your companions, and the effect your passing had upon the world.
From the ashes of the Devil's Gambit, Waterdeep rose again, rebuilt and renewed with all the fervor of a vast and bustling city, its place as the jewel of parents reclaimed. Reunited with his family, Durnan restored the yawning portal to its former glory. He hung a portrait of you upon the mantelpiece, and told your tale to all who sought the fire's warmth. After his experience in Undermountain, Tommy Undergallows left the yawning portal under suspicious circumstances and rumors of missing cutlery. Where he went from there is unknown, but whole tales of his exploits soon began to emerge. Tommy was said to be involved in a scheme to steal Elminster's pipe, and strangely, he was even reported to have ruled the pirate city of Luskan for a time. The truth of these tales is questionable at best, and only one story is said to have any real merit. It is claimed that shortly after leaving Waterdeep, Tommy met his end at the hands of a rugged, giggling maniac known only as Sammy. Deep in the Underdark, the wake of your passing is still felt. The seer survived Mephistopheles' pillage of the region, and her followers still search for those drow looking to escape the despair and treachery of their life, bringing those they find to a new existence on the surface. Thanks to the power of the shattered mirror that you left with her, your job is much easier than it once was. The Church of Isles 3 grows steadily in strength, and your name is praised as a true friend of those who seek refuge from the shadows. With the death of their overmind, the Illithids of Sorvatmore easily fell prey to the treachery of their so-called allies. The alliance between the Illithid and the Drow died with the Valsharins. It was not long before all of the outposts were enslaved to rival Drow houses, their psionic powers tightly controlled, while the rest of their race returned to their previous doctrine of war against lesser enemies. Freed from both the priesthood's brutal rule and the wrath of the Dracolich Vixthra, the community of Rearing Steep struggled mightily to provide a refuge amongst the many evil races of Underdark. Countless village leaders died in battle, though their spirit was never broken. Rumor spoke of an adult but kind-hearted rock gnome who served as the community's true leader, masterminding its strategies from behind the scenes. Whatever the case, the freemen of Rearing Steep survived battle after battle, until in time the city became a veritable fortress, a bastion of hope for those yet enslaved, and a proud beacon of freedom for those who had recently escaped. As for Kanya, little changed. Devils continued to mind their eyes for the walls of Mephistar. The spirits of the dead continued to arrive and slowly join the ranks of the lost, and the vast glacial waste continued to hold the knowers and their secrets close, buried deep beneath the glacial ice. The years passed, and the sleeping man slept much as he had for many years before. Sometimes he dreamed of his long journey, and sometimes he dreamed of yours. But most of all, he dreamed of his one true love, her face and name forever hidden from him. Years passed, and the sleeping man slept, his faith and hope eternal. The ghost of Aribeth Tilmerand wandered to the mortal realm for many years, eventually returning to the city of Neverwinter that was once her home. There she helped the sick, the lame, and the poor until little by little she felt the burden of her penance lifted. Some say that the wounded god Tyr finally appeared to her then, welcomed her at long last to the plain of Lumia. Tears filling her eyes, the ghost of Aribeth finally left this world forever. Only then did she find rest, a gentle spirit at last forgiven. Deacon would go on to become a legendary bard and adventurer in his own right, occasionally joining you in your exploits and often getting caught up in his own. He lived a good life in Waterdeep with many friends, becoming ever more famous and gaining the sense of confidence he had always lacked. He eventually returned to a celebrated hero to his former tribe in the Nether Mountains, however becoming their first true diplomat and greatest chieftain. He had his tribe out of hiding and negotiated a founding of a permanent mixed-race settlement with a human farming community grateful for the protection they could offer. This unique community of kobolds became a valued bridge between the various groups of beasts and men who once known each other only in battle, but now sought peace. Viking eventually passing was mourned by many, though you can be sure his legacy will live on in a new generation of scale singers, eager to find their own adventures, just as their father did before them. When all was said and done, and an end put to the fiendish plans of Mephistopheles, monuments to your victory were erected throughout the world of Toril. Over time, tales of your heroism grew into legends, then into myths. It is said you walked the plains, and some say you walk them still, sowing the seeds of goodness and hope wherever you go. Yeah, that's definitely a place of goodness and hope. And that's it. Yep. It's sort of anticlimactic to do it this way, but at the same time, I do value it in a role-playing game that if you use the system, at least it's an option. Even if you just want to fight at that point, you can. There's nothing if you want to have your big fight with the Archdevil. And it's fairly typical fight against a powerful devil, except from time to time you'll have to use your grappling hook to escape to the higher levels, because everything that's on the ground level at that time will be just destroyed entirely. So it's a fairly entertaining boss fight as far as boss fights are concerned in this game. But yeah. Also the Underdark. I think this in general is a very good campaign. This isn't exactly without its problems. There are a few distinct. It sort of started out very typically, and then I feel once you get into the Underdark, it gets a bit more interesting. And again, once the situation with the Valkyries comes to a closing point, and the game takes a drastic turn to changes the pace while you get sent to hell. It sort of settles down after the big fight for a while and then again starts. The big problem with this campaign is the items are too much. If you have to throw away your companions because there's no difficulty if you use them and use the mechanics allowed by the game, it's sort of a problem. I don't mean that it has to be difficult, but I mean there wasn't even much of a fight involved. I could just sit there and do nothing and the fight would have been mostly won. couple of good fights, especially with the enemy adventuring group at the end in Hells. So I still like this and the options. It is definitely the best of the official campaigns, but you sort of have to do a couple of things. Either hold yourself back a little bit to keep the fights sort of interesting, because if you just play on your own, depending on your class, the situations can be very tough. A simple situation against a warrior where, for example, what was the situation in the ice fields where like 100 small shitty guys spawned one after another after we kept killing them. For a good warrior, that's just a waste of a couple of minutes, because you can just kill a guys, not lose any resources, kill. But in a similar situation, you can think like a wizard, for example. If you're combat spell focused, that's a lot of killing you'd have to do without any chance of rest or anything. So, depending on what class you play, the fights are altered quite a bit. I do like this in another way too, because it introduces a lot of new mechanics, the item crafting, a lot of new options on companion control, and extra cow companion in general that you can take, so you can form at least a little bit of a larger party. Two-man group is nice, but you need something like 3 if you want to have you have to have some kind of thief, you have to have some kind of capable warrior, and some kind of spellcaster. That starts to look like a full, competent, well-rounded party. So a lot of the grappling mechanics, a lot of new puzzle types. What else? The ring that sort of changes the entire world to create new interactive targets. So there are a lot of cool trickery added, and probably ideas given to a lot of custom campaign developers. So I still think this is a fairly strong showing as far as NWN's night campaigns are concerned, with the only real major problem maybe pacing in a few places, and the fact that incredibly powerful mythical items are just given out like candy. If you take out the custom weapon upgrades, things might be much more balanced. Still, a strong showing. That said, we are going to move to custom campaigns. I'm going to play at least a couple of them. I'm thinking of choosing them based on a couple of criteria. They're not going to be in any way a comprehensive selection of what the game has to offer on custom front, and certainly I can't say that they're the best campaigns. They're just a few campaigns I know that are at least different and are very solid. Other modules probably. Yeah. Dance with Rogues, can't play that. It's for adults only. I don't know how. It can be a lot of trouble if I have to start editing it or someone starts complaining. Hunt Through the Dark probably. It's you play as a dark elf. It's a significant size campaign. Alone Saga, Demon Dreamcatcher, Honor Among Thieves. That would be a rogue campaign. Playing time 20 to 30 hours. Action light, tricks and traps heavy, role-playing heavy, alignments any but temptations for chaotic behavior above. So yeah, since we haven't played a rogue class, that might be a good thing to start Revenant, we would play as an undead creature. Return from the grave and yet find yourself crawling half decayed on the soft earth of the village graveyard. You have become a revenant, an undead creature whose only purpose is to hunt down and exact revenge upon its killer. So, something you can't truly play in any kind of original setting. They're Dreamcatcher Shadow Lords, and they're all part of a larger quest line, which I'm going to probably play. So they're basically 3 campaigns. Dreamcatcher Shadow Lords and even Aelon Saga, probably going to play it, and The Awakening, or what is it, Tales of Artera. There are a lot of long campaigns, well-made campaigns in general, but they're all kind of different. Different type of adventure and different type of writing. So, not sure if I'm gonna play all of them, but that's more or less the selection I'm going for at the moment.